roadshow sort of event and do some appraisals with him. But when I arrived, I found our table staffed by an unfamiliar black woman in her early 20s, a.k.a. Kala. She was a good 6 years younger than me and a fair amount shorter. She'd had on overalls and a sleeveless purple t-shirt and was valuing vintage trolls. The whole situation had taken me aback. I mean, I'm all for comfy clothing, but an appraisal event calls for a certain level of professionalism. And trolls? Our family business, Scandal Mountain Fine Arts and Antiques, had a reputation for dealing in upper-end pieces, not collectibles, though that had somewhat fallen by the wayside thanks to my mom's lack of business acumen. Frankly, the largest surprise was that Mom had taken on an employee when she was headed to prison and the business was all but bankrupt. But I'd been wrong to criticize her decision. Kala was fabulous. She worked for room and board and commission on the stuff she sold. She also came with an intriguing, though rather dubious, set of skills, including lock-picking and a familiarity with the darknet, not to mention that a bartender at the Jumping Cafe recently declared her ID a fake. The buzz of my phone pulled me from my thoughts. I glanced at the caller ID. Fisher's Auction House. That's weird, I said to Kala. It's Fisher's. I wasn't expecting to hear from them for another couple of weeks, after the 4th of July at the earliest. A knot of apprehension tightened in my stomach. Fisher's was a local auction house with a reputation for bringing in top-notch buyers and record-breaking prices. I'd arranged for them to sell a valuable collection of Quebecois decoys for a client. As acting intermediary agent, we'd earn a significant commission. Money we desperately needed to cover overdue bills and upcoming property taxes, and to buy fresh inventory. Hello? I tried to sound casual rather than concerned.
Hey, Edie.
It was Albert Fisher's voice, owner of the auction house.
I've run into an issue we need to discuss.
What is it? I took a quick sip of vodka to moisten my mouth.
I know we'd set the auction date for the end of September, but I was just made aware of a conflict. Winston and Windsor are having their annual decoy sale that weekend. I'm sorry. I should have checked more thoroughly before we chose the date.
Damn it, I muttered. I'd interned at several auction houses, including the renowned Christie's in New York City. The timing of an auction was vital. The prices realized could plummet if similar specialty auctions happened too close together, and Winston and Windsor were known for their decoys sales. What are you proposing? I asked, almost afraid to hear. As it was, September wasn't going to come any too soon as far as our dwindling bank accounts were concerned.
I have an open weekend mid-November. It's prime time for a sale like this right before the holidays. Honestly, September was cutting it close as far as cataloging and building a buzz. This will be better for all of us.
A headache pulsed at the back of my skull. I squeezed my eyes shut. Sounds perfect. I'll tell my client. At least I was certain he wouldn't have a problem with the change. My client, Jean-Claude Bouchard, had also been concerned that September was too soon. I tucked my phone into my pocket, then glanced at Kala.
Bad news?
She asked. The decoy auction's not happening until November.
That stinks.
You can say that again. The crunch of tires against gravel came from the driveway behind me. I looked over my shoulder as an unfamiliar hatchback sped into view. It winged past the gardens and house, then parked in front of the carriage barn that housed our shop and my mom's art studio. My Uncle Tuck was watching the store. He'd moved back to our family home 3 years ago to help out after I left home. I got to my feet. I'll be right back. I need to tell Tuck about the auction delay, and I'm curious to see who's here.
Anything to get out of sorting jewelry, huh?
Kala teased. I grinned. It'll give you time to search for the other monkeys. I was grateful that Kala had gone back to teasing me about the jewelry rather than dwelling on the bad news. I had no doubt that it bothered her as well, but it helped to have someone remain upbeat. As she dug back into the jewelry, I tied my free-flying hair into her